Hey, hopefully you have finished your warm up. And I want to go ahead and just start by saying that I appreciate that you guys are all going to give your best today. Make sure you're super respectful to the sub and you're putting in a lot of hard work. So I look forward to seeing all those good notes and seeing who won our classroom contest. Now going into our concepts. So yesterday we started learning about volume. And so volume is the space inside of a shape, a 3D shape. So how much I can fill up a bottle of water or a fish tank, or like how many M&Ms fit in a jar, or if we're talking about Moody Gardens, like how much wildlife or how much rainforest can go in one of the pyramids. And so the first question that we always are asking ourselves with volume, so question one, we always start by asking ourselves, is it a prism or a pyramid? So that's where we're going to start. And we know that a prism has two parallel bases. Oops, darn it. Sorry. Okay, so a prism has two parallel bases. And a pyramid has one base where all sides come to one point. Okay, they come up to a tip. All right, so that's the first thing we ask ourselves. Then we go and we look at our formula chart and we write down the formula for volume. And then we identify, what is the base? What shape is the base? Is it a square or a triangle? And then we're able to go into area of the base and start our calculations. So this is kind of the thought process I want you to go through in your head with each problem is, am I looking at a prism or a pyramid? Okay, and write your formula. And then what shape is my base? And make sure that you shade in your base. Okay, so today we're going to be able to solve problems involving the volume of rectangular pyramids and triangular pyramids. And you're going to be able to write about the differences in calculating volumes of prisms and pyramids. Okay, so do you think that there's a difference in the volume of these two shapes? Well, I mean, honestly, I think that they look like the pyramid is small. So let's see if it's actually the case. But in my mind, it looks like the bases are kind of the same size. And if I put the pyramid inside of the cube, there would probably be some space left over. Well, we are going to do an experiment and find out. Let's see. Oh, there we go. All right, so we're showing you that the base of these two are exactly the same size. And we have a pyramid and a prism. All right, and so now we're filling the pyramid up with the water. And look at that. We filled it up and it only filled part of our prism. So now we filled up the pyramid again. And look at that. Still, we didn't meet the entire prism. So we fill the pyramid up one more time. And check that out. So it took 3 pyramids to fill up the one prism. How cool is that? So the volume of 3 pyramids with the same size of the base will make one prism. Okay? So if we go look at our formula chart, we will see that on our formula chart, it says prism, and it says volume equals big B times height, right? Area of the base times height is what we learned. We're not just saying big B. And then pyramid is volume equals 1/3 area of the base times height. Okay, so the difference between calculating the volume for prisms and pyramids is we're still going to find the same or use the same process with the area of the base. Our height's the same, but the only difference is for the pyramid, we take 1/3. So we are essentially dividing the volume of a prism with the same size of base by 3. All right, so now you're going to go ahead and be finishing your foldable from Wednesday. So what you're going to do is we're going to start by finding volume of a pyramid. So it says volume equals big B times height. So V stands for volume. Our big B is area of the base. And again, the reason it's a big B is that's telling you that we can't just plug a number in. We have to calculate the area of the base. So that means we're either going to use, if it's a rectangle, we're going to use area equals base times height for area of the base. And if it's a triangle, we're going to use area equals 1/2 base times height. Okay. Now this height here is different from this height over here. This height over here is the height of the pyramid or prism. So in this case, the pyramid. All right, so our steps are we're going to shade the base. We're going to write the formula. We're going to calculate the area of the base. Then we're going to plug in our numbers and solve it. All right, so let's look at our rectangular pyramid. So again, the first step we have is we're going to shade in the base. So a pyramid, the base is always here on the bottom, and there's always one base. Okay. So generally, when you're solving problems like this, you'll draw a T-chart, but most of that is already done for you in these blocks. But to the left is where I always put my area of the base, and to the right is where I do my volume formula, okay? So I'm going to start out with the area of my base. My base here is a rectangle. So it's a rectangle. So I find the area of a rectangle by calculating base times height. So here I am staring at this little rectangle here, and it says the rectangle is 3 by 2. So I'm going to plug in 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. Then I am going to go over here and do my volume formula. Okay, so volume, since it's a pyramid, equals 1/3 area of the base times height. So in place of my big B, I'm going to plug in the calculation, which was 6. I have the 1/3 from my formula. And then now this height over here is the height of my pyramid. So it's like you're standing in the middle of the teepee and you're holding it up to the highest point. So again, it has to be at a 90-degree angle, so it has to go down to the middle of that pyramid. So my height is going to be 5. So I'm going to plug in 5. All right. And then I should be able to calculate. Generally, each time you do this, one of these numbers should be able to be divided by 3 easily. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So 2 times 5 is 10. So we have 10 inches and it's cubed. Volume is a cubed unit. Okay. All right, let's look at our second example. So again, if you're not provided with this, you can make your own T-chart. So we're going to do our own T-chart. And I'm going to color in my base. So the base is always the one at the bottom with a pyramid. And I can tell it's a pyramid because they're all going to one point. So the shape of my base now is a triangle. So area equals 1/2 base times height. So I'm focused down here at this triangle, okay? The 10 is not part of what I'm looking at right now. So I have an 8. My triangle is 8 and 6. So 1/2, the base is 8, the height is 6. Half of 8 is 4. 4 times 6 is 24. All right. So now, since I'm doing volume of a pyramid, I'm going to write my volume formula directly from my formula chart. 1/3 area of the base times height. So my 1/3 is coming from the formula. Then I'm going to take area of the base from over there, so 24. And then again, my height is going directly down to the center of my pyramid. So my height is going to be 10. Okay. So now what I can do is I can take 1/3 of 24. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. 8 times 10 is 80. So 80 inches cubed. Okay. So it's pretty straightforward. So now you're going to work on your independent practice. All right. So here is your independent practice. So let's just look at number 1 real quick. So on number 1, you have find the volume of a square pyramid. So it's telling me that the base is my square. So I want to go ahead and make my formula chart. So I have area of the base and volume. Okay. So I'm going to start with my area of the base is a square. So I have a square. So I'm going to do my formula. Area equals base times height. The base of my square and height. So a square means all the sides are equal. So 9 times 9 is 81. Okay. Then I'm going to go and plug in my numbers using my formula. Okay. So my formula says volume equals 1/3 area of the base times height. So the 1/3 is from my formula. Area of the base, big B, is 81. And then the height is, of course, the height of my pyramid up and down. So that's going to be 12. So I easily know what 12 divided by 3 is. That's 4. So I'm going to do 81 times 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 times 8 is 32. So I have 324 feet squared. Okay. So as you move through these, I want you to follow the same steps. So I want you to be drawing your T-charts, area of the base and volume. This base here, this base here is a triangle, okay? Once you use numbers, you can't use them again. So I have this triangle. I have a triangle, so area equals 1/2 BH. So 1/2, base and height is what I'm looking at for my triangle. So base of 18, height of 10. Half of 18 is 9. 9 times 10 is 90. So now all you have to do is write your volume formula. Volume equals 1/3 area of the base times height. and plug in what you know. All right, keep on going, guys.